live. Welcome to Annie's Flock Weekly Live. My name is Annie. And today's topic is going to be foraging. This is what people have voted for, so we'll talk about that. Now, while I'm waiting to have people come on to the live, and before I get into the topic, I will quickly talk about a little reminder here. So I go live every Saturday from 10 to 10:30 Pacific time. And the Thursday or Friday prior to the live, I put a post with a poll that you can vote for the topic of your choice. It's usually Thursday or Friday prior to that live. So you go under my YouTube channel, under the post tab, and then you can vote. I also put the same poll on my Instagram page. So Annie's Flock Instagram page. The link is also in the description box of the live. And you can head out there. I also post that poll in my Instagram story to vote for your favorite topic. I also usually schedule in advance the live around the same day, Thursday or Friday, and then you can click on that notification bell and you get notified when the live comes on. So that way it's easier for you to just be live and ask question live. If you can't, then you can always listen to the live in replay because I leave all the lives on the channel. All right, so now that we got this out of the way, let's talk about foraging. What is foraging for your birds? So basically what it is hiding you. So foraging, they are looking for food. They're searching for their food. We tend as bird owners to just put their food in a dish, and this is how we feed them. But in their natural habitat, the birds will forage for food. It's not served on a platter. They have to search for food. This is what they do all day long. They search for food. So by starting that foraging situation, it helps them to be more stimulated, occupied. So basically, you're hiding food in their toys. I have here a few toys that I will show you what I use for foraging for my birds. But there's all kinds of different ways you can do this. Before I show you the toys that I have, I want to talk about the benefits. Why are we doing this? Why am I taking the time to hide food? And when I say hide food, any fresh food. Does bird know it's a bird, but it's not able to name itself? What? Okay. All right, I got distracted with one of the message. I thought there was a question. If you have a question about foraging, please ask, and I will answer those. Otherwise, I'm going to skip the comments and I'm just going to move on because we're just going to have half an hour to talk about the subject. So, yes, so it's hard to hide fresh food like your chop or veggies because it's fresh food, right? So you want to be careful with that. It's a little bit easier in stainless steel bowl, and I totally get that. I don't use the chop for foraging. I will use seed mix for foraging, and I will also use pellets for foraging. So my birds, personally, they don't get a lot of seeds because seeds are higher in fat. So to control the weight so that they don't get overweight and they don't, develop liver disease and stuff like that and heart disease, they're really restricted to the amount of, depending on which bird, because they go from budgie to I have budgies to Indian ringneck, right? So budgies, they'll go for like a small seed mix, but my Indian ringneck, they do have a little bit of nuts as well. But nuts and seeds usually are for training purposes or foraging, because I make them work for it. So foraging, first, it's going to stimulate their mind. They're going to be busy. They're going to be occupied. It helps them play with their toys. They won't get bored as much because they'll have something to do. What else did I put in there? It keeps them active, so it keeps them moving. And it's a natural behavior. So it allows them to be birds, not to be necessarily like a pet bird. I mean, it is okay to be a pet bird, but I think it's important also to have them to do a natural behavior, right? Sorry, I'm old. I need my glasses because nutrition. Now I give them rice. I hold them under food. Yeah. So, what kind of bird do you have, Bob? I'm curious. Yeah, so yeah, obviously bread is not good. I'm specifically talking about pet birds like parrots. Oh, pigeon. Okay, it's a little bit different. Yeah. Yeah, that's different. So mine, they're all in the parrot category. So I can't really talk. I mean, I don't know anything about pigeon, honestly. So I'm not sure, but I mean, in general, I would say, yes, you're right. Bread is not good for birds in general. I think rice is most likely a way better option. Yeah, I really do think that rice is a better option overall. I do give cooked rice, and the chop for my parrots, actually. So yeah, definitely. So, yeah, so it basically keeps them really busy, and I have them really work hard to get their seeds, to get their fat food, if you will. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the toys that I have. So I'm going to show you this one. This one, I use it for my budgies. It's like a little container like this, right? But at the beginning, they don't even know that it's for food, right? It's just because they're used to have just in their dish, right? So yeah, so this one I use it for my budgie. And then when you start, you can just put the food in there, like your pellets or your seeds, and just the seeds, right? And then they realize, oh, there's food in there. And usually I put it somewhere that it's not super easy accessible, with like a perch right beside. I'm going to put it like right in the middle. So they're actually going to have to like hold on to the toy to be able, so it gives them, they have to work a little bit harder to get those seeds. And then when they get really used to foraging, they know there's something in there. You can put like shredded paper or like, sorry, my toys are starting to be a little bit destroyed because, hey, parrots, they destroy toys, right? So you can put like paper, shredded paper like this on top. So you put the seeds or the pellets in the bottom, and then you add shredded paper. So they have to remove the shredded paper to get to the seeds, right? So they have to work their mind a little bit harder to figure out, how am I going to get the food? Why not talk about owls? Because I have no knowledge about owls at all. That is why I'm not talking about owls. Talking about mostly parrots. So let's say from budgies to a big macaw, right? Because this is where my knowledge is. Now I'm going to show you another thing. So I have something similar. They're just bigger. This one, I use it for my Indian ringneck because it's bigger. And then she really has to play around and find it. And then sometimes I'll stick some I don't know if you can see here, like I can stick some nuts in there, right? And then she'll have to search for them. And that makes them destroy the toy at the same time. So if your pet bird, your parrot, does not play with toys at all, and you don't know how to have them to start playing with toys, this is a really good thing to help them with that. To stick nuts or seeds in their toys. So to buy toys that you can do that, that is a reason why I do not buy plastic toys ever, because I find that it's completely useless. You can stick nuts and seeds in the toy, and then they have to destroy the toy to get to that seed or that nut. And so it gets very reinforcing to destroy toys. And eventually, because it's a natural behavior, and parrots usually they really like the sound of chewing and destroying wood and stuff and all kinds of different material. But then it's going to get reinforcing by its own, and then they'll start destroying their toys and play with their toys. I'm going to show you another one here that I have for Olive, my conure. So it's pretty destroyed, that one. It used to be so cute, but now it's pretty destroyed. But basically what it is there's a cup here, and it's all natural material as well. So here, you have like a cup in the bottom, and then, I mean, the cup on the top is pretty destroyed because she had to open it, right? To get to the bottom, to get the seeds or the pellets, whatever I was putting in there, right? So that's another one. I just want to have a quick look to see if I missed any question, okay? Okay. 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 All right. No, that was all for the questions. Okay. I'm going to show you again this one that I brought with the look how destroyed that is. So this one, there's no little cups or anything that will hold the food, right? It's just, it looked better before. But in this one, through the holes here and into the paper, you can put nuts and seeds. Well, I would say more nuts, because seeds, it's really small. But you could put like a chunk of spray millet and hide it inside. You can do the same thing in here. You could put a chunk of spray millet, same thing in here in those little holes. And the birds will see those, and they'll have to destroy and find it, right? Now, at the beginning, if your bird, there's different stage of foraging, okay? Because most, I mean, not all of them, but most parrots, pet birds, however you want to call them, from as small as budgies to macaw, when they are being bred in captivity, and hopefully you get a bird that is bred in captivity, not some that was wild, please. I mean, yes, they're being bred and they are being hand fed, because that's what people they want, right? They want birds that they can handle, that are not scared of humans. Fair enough. But the downside of this is that they don't know how to be birds. So we have to teach them. So for example, when I first got Olive, my Black Cape Conure, she was a little baby. She was 2 months old when I first got her. And she had no clue how to play with toys and no clue how to forage. So I had to be her mom and to teach her how to do that, because the only thing she wanted to do was be with me, be on me, which, I mean, if this is what you want out of a bird, that's fine. But what happens when you cannot be with that bird for a day, for 2 days? I mean, everybody has a different situation. Personally, I work outside of my house. I have a job outside. I don't work at home. So I'm not here all the time, right? Some people, they're home all the time and their bird is just hanging out in the house and with them all the time, and this is fine. But what if you want to take a vacation? What if something happens and you cannot take care of your bird anymore and you have to rehome your bird? I think we have a responsibility as bird owners to make sure that this bird, because parrots, they live a very long time, right? Mine are not like cockatoos or macaws that are going to outlive me, hopefully, because that would mean that I don't have a lot of years left. But my budgies could live another, I don't know, 7 years, probably. My Indian ringneck, she's already an adult, but she could live easily another 10, 20 years. Conure, she could live the same thing, easily another 10, 20 years, right? So we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So I think we do have a responsibility as parrot owners to maintain a good relationship to our birds, but also to teach them how to be birds and how to be adaptable. I find that birds get really, really comfortable into a routine. And then when they get too comfortable in that routine and the routine is thrown off for whatever reason, they get stressed, they get angry, they get lonely. Like, it's just very, very difficult for them. If you don't have that some of the things you need a routine. But if you're not that strict about routine and you're always implementing new things and teaching them new things, and teaching them to be independent and not fully 100% dependent of you and only you, it's going to be so much easier for them the day. That's my conure. She's calling me. Yeah. If she continues, I'll go get her, just because I don't want, I'm sure you can hear her pretty well, even though she's in another room. But what was I saying? What was I saying? Yes, I think we have that responsibility to being consistent and teach them to be independent and not fully 100% dependent on us, so that if we're going on a vacation and we have a bird sitter, they can adapt to that bird sitter. If you can be at home for a whole day, they will keep themselves busy. They won't be bored or stressed and start to pluck or whatever. And same thing who knows? Well, we don't want to project anything, but if something happens that you can no longer take care of your birds and you have to rehome them, are they going to be able to adapt to this without being so stressed? And I think foraging is one of the things that we can teach our birds in that regards, to be keep themselves busy and be more adaptable and not as routine oriented, right? I do change my foraging toys quite a bit. I don't put the seeds and the pellets always in the same foraging toys. Sometimes I change the disposition or how I do it. So going back to when I first, what time? So we're 20 minutes in. I still have 10 minutes. Okay. So going back to, I mean, I had to teach all my birds to forage. I find that my budgies, it was a little bit easier. I don't know, because budgies naturally, they really forage for food. Like if they go on the ground, if I have some seeds that are on the ground, they'll just fly to the ground and pick up the seeds. So they naturally a little bit more, I think it was easier for me with my budgies to teach them how to forage. And Lucy was not easy, but she picked up on it pretty quick. I think, and it's probably because I had more experience, because I went through that same process with Olive first. And Olive, I really had to teach her. She was a baby girl and she had no idea. She just wanted to be with me 24/7. She did not want to go in her cage. So different things I've been doing is, she really likes spray millet, and I would only give her spray millet hidden in a toy, but hidden in a way that she would still see it, but she had to kind of chew on the toy to get to the millet. And so every time she would see millet in her cage in that toy, she would just go after it right away. So that was the beginning of it. So I want to say, when you start teaching your birds how to forage, you want to show them where the pellet, or start with, the other thing is pellets is their everyday food, right? So I want to say start with nuts and seeds. Spray millet is a good one depending on the size of your bird. But it's a good one to start just because it's something that usually they really, it's like a treat, right? So it's not like a everyday type of food. It's a treat. So they'll work a little bit harder to get that treat specifically. So I started with spray millet and then nuts hidden in toys, but hidden, but not too hidden. So I was showing her, even like in these little cups. So she did have they were a little bit bigger. She has cups more this size here, and there was like a cover on top that she could flip. So at first what I was doing, I was putting seeds in it, and then I would put it in her cage, easy access, by a perch, super easy. And then I would just flip that lid and show her, look what's inside, because she was scared to put her head in there, because there was that lid right after, right? She was scared to get stuck, because another thing is, sometimes our birds are just scared, right? They're prey animals, so they get scared easily, and they're kind of hesitant, right? So I had to lift it up and show her, look, there's seeds in there. So, and after a little while, she understood that there was seeds in there. And then slowly, when she got more familiar and she knew that there were stuff in there, I started putting papers, like shredded paper like this, on top of the seeds. So she had to dig and remove the paper in order to get into the foraging toy for seeds, right? And then same thing, like I would hide in these little holes, I will hide little nuts. So there's different ways you can do it. You can show them on the table, and the more they get advanced, the more you can make it more difficult to them. You can also, if you have like the dish, the stainless steel bowl for food, you can have like a paper that covers the dish, so they have to like poke holes in it or destroy the paper to get to the food. That's another way to do it if you don't want to invest into foraging toy. Although almost every bird owners, they realize they do have to invest in toys. Toys is birds are expensive. Birds are really, really expensive. If you want parrots, you need to be prepared. They're expensive to purchase. The cages are expensive. The toys, the food, they're just expensive pets. That's all. So yeah, and then now what I do right now is, so first the toys are usually hanging somewhere that is kind of difficult to access because I want them to work for it. So I'll see my birds. So for example, like let's say I have this one here. I'll see Lucy like one leg on a perch and then almost in split, and then or sometimes she'll just be like on top of the toy hanging upside down and looking into this thing, and they have to work harder to get to those seeds. I don't give a lot. So right now and it's different for all my birds, but the budgies, they do need a little bit more seeds because they are more active than the other ones. They are in a big flight cage, so they have a lot of room to fly. I have 2 budgies in that big flight cage, if you don't know, if you have never seen my videos. So they do fly a lot and they move fast, and they get outside every day also. So they do spend a little bit more energy, so they do need more seeds. So usually for both, I'm going to put about 1 tablespoon and a half spread into foraging toys. Mainly, I mean, I have a few different, but they're mainly like little containers like this, or little pods. That's the word I was looking for. So little pods like this. And then I'll switch it up, right? I'm going to change toys, but I'm also going to change which one has seeds in it. Not all of them has seeds in it. Then for my Black Cape Conure, she's going to have half of her pellets in her dish, the other half of the pellets in a foraging toy because she's awesome at foraging. And then she's going to get a little bit of seed mix, which is like half a teaspoon, like barely anything scattered around in one of the pods or whatever. So it's going to be a mix of seeds and pellets. And I do the same thing for Lucy. Lucy's seed mix is a little bit different than Olive just because she's a little bit bigger and she likes different things, but it's going to be the same thing, about half a teaspoon of seed mix. And then I'm going to have half of her pellets are going to be also in foraging toys. Lucy was very difficult to get her to eat pellets. So mixing them with the seeds was good as well because she started. So the pellets that I use are from Tops Parrots. So they're cold press and they can get broken really easily. And so if she was foraging through the pellets to get her seeds, she would break the pellets and then have a taste of it. And that way she was getting used to the taste while she was foraging for her seeds because she was such a seed junkie. So the thing with Lucy, I still have 1 minute left. So before, I'm just going to say that little story. For those who don't know, when I got Lucy, she was a breeding bird and she was about 7 years old. So the bag of food that the breeder gave me with her was nuts, seeds. There was a little bit of pellets in there, but I don't even know what type of pellets. Like, I have no idea if it was even healthy. And then she had dried fruit in there. Like, it was just treats in her bag, basically. So it was very hard for me to do that conversion to a healthy diet. Even the seed mix that I'm giving her is much healthier than, like, there's a lot of safflower seeds, and like there's no sunflower seeds at all. There's like, anyway, so even though it's a seed mix, it's still a healthier seed mix than what she had when she came with me. So where was I going with that? How I said everything that I wanted to say. I guess I did. It's now 10:30, 1 even. So I hope you enjoyed this live. Let me know. You'll be able to watch the whole thing in replay if you want, or if you haven't had the time to catch up live, it's going to be on replay. And I will see you next Saturday for another live. Don't forget to subscribe and look under the post tab for the poll to be able to vote for which topic that you want me to talk about for the next live. All right. Have a nice week, everybody. Bye.